Um, last video I was talking about SEO, and then it kind of occurred to me that people probably don't know what SEO is still. So SEO is just basically search engine optimization, and it's basically a way for you to show up on Google and Google My Business. Like that's the number one thing. That's what it does. So how do we make that happen, right? Well, we talked about it in other videos, but simply put, it's basically giving Google as many signals as possible for each of your pages that the information that you are providing is what their customers, the Google users, are looking for, right? So, if someone is in Jersey and they type in fence company near me, well, there's two things at play, right? So there's the Google My Business listing. So usually a lot has to do with the vicinity of that particular business. So the businesses that are closer to Woodstown, then they're typically going to show up first, unless you do a lot more work with the images and the posts and stuff like that on Google My Business. And then you'll have results like mine where even though I'm like 20, 30 miles away, I'm still showing up at the top of the results because I've put in a work that other people weren't willing to do, right? Or didn't know how to do. So that's where we show up first. So that's Google My Business. The other thing is for SEO is the rest of the listings on Google. So typically the first three listings that you see are going to be ads. So those are paid for. After that is the map section. That's Google My Business. And then below that is the search results. So every person, not everyone does the same thing, but typically most of them will type in fence company near me and go from there. Some people will specifically skip the ads and go right to Google My Business. Some people will skip both of them and go right to the search results. So that's where the SEO comes in, is if they're skipping the other two, that's helping you show up there. Plus the SEO is actually helping you with your Google My Business stuff as well. It's kind of like, it's all Google, so it's kind of, mixing together. So you have that. And then, so that's where, like these things, like the Google ads, like every time someone clicks on it, it costs you money, right? Whereas with the SEO, and I talked about it in the other video, it's an investment strategy, right? So what happens is you put in this time, energy, and effort up front. Now, energy could be your own or it could be someone else's. Now, of course, if you're doing it on your own, then you're spending your own time. But if you're spending someone else's time, then you have to pay for that, right? So what ends up happening is, like, again, it's investment. So you spend that time, energy, and effort up front. It's kind of like working out, and then you're not really going to see the results depending on the situation. It could be a few weeks, could be a few months, right? Especially depending on, it really depends on your area, and then it really depends on, well, three things. Depends on your area, which is related to like the competition, and then the other thing that matters is your the industry that you're in. So if you're in like HVAC, stuff like that, you are in a very, very competitive area. Very, okay? More than likely, especially in my area. You got Horizon is one of the big guys, which they came out of, not even out of nowhere. Apparently, they've been around for a few decades, but it seems like in the last few years, they've been making this huge push and they're like just blowing up. Like they're like the freaking orange trucks are literally everywhere, right? And they spend the most on advertising. They spend a shit ton of money on SEO and stuff like that. So that's where it's going to be a little bit harder for you to get into. Not a little bit, it's a lot harder to get into. So what ends up happening is you got to spend more time and energy and effort to get the results that you want to do. Now with fencing, at least in my area, there's a ton of people, but they don't do the work that they're supposed to for the most part. So that allows companies like me to come in and like overtake pretty quickly. But then again, like I said, I put in a lot of effort on like the pictures and everything else to get it to where it needs to be. So there's that. Now, again, why is this important? you need leads, right? It's the whole customer cycle that we got to look at. Like, you have to get the leads, you have to sell jobs, you have to produce those jobs, and you have to know your numbers, right? So the first thing is you have to be able to get leads coming in the door. If you don't have any leads, then you can't get any sales, which then you can't make any money, and then at that point you don't have a business, right? So that's where you got to focus on. The other thing, and people aren't thinking about this, and this is more of a long-term play, is that we have a recession coming up, right? So what's going to happen is, if just say 1,000 people in your area in a month are looking for fence companies right now, then when a recession comes, it might only be 500, right? So whatever results you're currently getting, imagine that going in half. So if you're getting 3 calls a day, imagine it in like 1, maybe 2. If you have 10, it's going down to 5, right? And so this is where you got to be careful of. So this is what you have to work on, and this is where like the SEO is very important. So again, you can do this stuff on your own. It's not super hard. The thing is that for most business owners, you just don't have time, and it's like anything else. Whether you're trying to work out, diet, whatever, is that if you don't have any kind of accountability, it's probably not going to happen. It may happen in the short term, but as soon as things get hard, then it's going to stop happening, right? And then, whereas SEO, like I said, because it is a build up over time, that we have to, it takes time to like gain momentum. So anyway, so there's that. After that, I'm gonna switch this. So after that, if you're gonna do I wish I could switch this thing around, which makes, oh wait, oh my God, that was there the whole time, and the other day I couldn't figure it out. So this is the warehouse. Now this is one of the subs that dropped us off. I told them I don't want the post, but of course we have post here, but then again, I guess we can use them. So right now we're waiting for the approval from the township, but we're basically getting a fence in here because obviously we don't want all this stuff sitting out. Oh my God, there was like a raccoon or something back there. But basically, this stuff's all getting pre-staged. You can see it's basically the people's name on it. And what happens is basically the guys in the warehouse put everything together. They bring it out here. And then after that, Lydia is the one that starts building or putting all the posts and stuff. They build the gates back there and all that kind of stuff. So that's what we have going on. Just some more posts. We do have the 2 sections at this point. But this is where we're at. We just got a delivery, so that's why we have a decent amount of posts and whatnot. The rest of the rails and stuff like that are in the back. And so we'll go in here. Typically, we'll just stage the pallets here, so that way they can just grab them for the orders. Oops, help. Okay. So then in here, we're not really using this area as much at this point. So this is just kind of like drop off shit. And then, so we put the curtains in to cut down on a little bit of the dust. This used to be the office, but we're moving into the other section. But it's not too bad. So I gotta just clean it up. I had to run new wires. So like a new camera system. I did talk about in other videos, the Lorex system with the home app or whatever is insanely good. Like really, really good. It's kind of like Ring. You get all the notifications that you need, and it just works really well. So we have that. Then in here is, so this is mostly aluminum, and then we have all old posts from years ago. We actually started using them, just cutting them up for spacers. Basically, here's all extra picket gates here. We have sections built. And then basically all these are gates. Like there's just a shit ton of gates right now. So if you need aluminum, and then there's more coming in. There's even more crap back there. And then we got that, all sections built. And then back here, hopefully I'm back. Anyway, here's all the the pickets, and then we got rails back there. And then these are the tables we built, or actually I built. So I built everything out of extra aluminum posts. And so what happens is basically this holds the rail itself, and then we build up just with cardboard. And then so what ends up happening is you take this, you put your rail here, which this is raised up a little bit, so it holds it in place. And then after that, you're just sliding in pickets. So it's pretty quick. And then this is built up so that way the pickets are slightly raised off, and then that way we can throw the rail in after the fact, slides right in. And then this thing's built so there's basically about 5 inches of overhang on each side, so that way after then they're just wrapping the thing. So it's been pretty efficient. We're working on that type setup, so that's what we have there. Like I said, the gates are back here. Now this is anywhere. This is the last one I got, just because I think this is a 2 cubic yard. But I got it from here on eBay. It was the cheapest I could find, and the shipping and everything else wasn't too bad. These are basically all pickets and stuff that come in that are all, if there's anything that is damaged, so then we can take them out if they're compressed on like one side or something like that. Then we can use the other cutoff piece for gates or anything like that. This section we got to work on cleaning up at this point, but this is all lineals for the aluminum. So basically the post and all this stuff are over here, the lineals pieces over there, and then this is the jig for everything. So this I had built. I basically built it using all brackets, and I had someone come in and just weld the thing together. But the way this works, which is pretty cool, is that you start. I wish this had a different setting, but this post is locked into place. So then what you do is basically you put your bottom rail in, which sits on this piece here. And then after that, you would put your mid rail in, okay? Then once you do that, I used welding magnets, so it actually holds in there. And then after that, you just start chucking your pickets in. And then once you do that, you would put your top rail in. And then after that, you're screwing everything in. And then the nice part, so that way you don't have to bend over. Hopefully this can see. But basically this whole thing lifts up. So it goes up some more, but I'm in a bad position. But anyway, that lifts up so then we can hit the bottom screws in there. So it makes it nice and easy. And everything just kind of gets staged here. That's about it. The only thing I do highly suggest, this is one of the best things that we got recently, is these forks. Now, typically, we would have the regular forks and then use the fork extensions, but they are a pain in the ass because they would fall off constantly. And so these things, if you can't really tell, but they're 6-footers. So it works really well for that. So now we don't have to deal with the fork extensions anymore. This is never put on right. There we go. So anyway, that's it. And so the space itself is pretty damn big. The only issue is there is just walls like everywhere. And then the ceiling, I don't like how tall it is either. So this will probably last us for about 2 years, maybe, the way we're going. And then at that point, we will get rid, probably move to our own location is what I'm thinking, just because this isn't set up the greatest. But yeah, this is the one section. And we'll go out here. So we got this. And at this point, this truck's getting fixed and probably sold. This one I just have to donate because it's done at this point. This is the Bedford fence truck. So it's not bad looking. There's that. And then we're just waiting. I got to get new graphics for all this stuff for the signs. So I'm waiting on that. Same thing, a new door graphic. Let's start the camera. Oh, helps if I turn it the right way. So this I really only got this section, to be honest with you, because I wanted to use the warehouse space. I mean the parking lot space. But anyway, it's gonna be bright as shit. This does have the two coats on it. So basically, this is like lime green. Okay, I'm back. So, and I guess it's like a yellowish. I don't know. My wife picked it up. That only has one coat, and there was like this color wall there. So, once we get another coat on there, probably it'll be much brighter. But this will be more of a retail section. And this is kind of better set up for the wholesale division. So I don't even know if we're going to put the Deptford Fence on there or the other company. So we'll see what happens with that. But it's perfect for retail. And then we have this whole other section in here, which that'll probably be we're probably going to use this for office. I did get the carpet tiles. If you haven't used them, Home Depot has them. They're commercial grade and they're cheap. They're like $1 per foot. They're peel and stick. We use them in our basement. They actually look pretty damn nice. So that'll help with the bouncing off the walls. I might do something else here as well. And then in here is another office area, so we'll see what to do with that. I really don't like the floors, but it is what it is for now. But yeah, here's behind the counter. Like I said, it's a decent amount of space. And then they got the clips for everything, so we can do something with that as well. And then just bathroom back there. Okay. And then, so basically in here is where we keep all the hardware. We're probably going to put another shelf like back in this way. But this is what Lydia uses all the time. And then what we're going to get done is this area is going to get all cleaned up. And then, so over here is basically where we're going to store the gates and whatnot. So we're going to fit the two fours next to each other and basically build them with the cross members. Sets of them with going to the left and sets going to the right. So we have for double gates. And then this is where we're housing most of the posts. At some point, we're probably moving, like once that area is cleaned up over there, these gates are going to be going over to here, and then we'll be probably taking down the shelving and then put more in the more posts in here so we can keep everything in here. And then here's another section back in here, and this is for we usually keep like aluminum and whatnot in here, so there's a few orders in there. It's hard to say, but they have the halogen light, so like by the time they warm up, I'll be gone. So, but yeah, that's really about it. Like I said, with the extensions, is what we were using before, and then, or the extensions are there, but they're just a pain in the ass. So, anyway, that is about it. So, hopefully that was helpful, if at all. I don't know. And, but that's what we're looking like. And then, I'm trying to think what else. Oh, these are more signs that just came in, like the long signs. So, oh my God, I'm just zooming in on my face. Oh, one sec. So that's what we're looking like for that. Easy and hassle free. And then I forget what I put. Oh, and get your instant fence price for fence.com. If you notice on the truck, it does say instantfenceprice.com, but that's what we have everything going to pretty much for now. But yeah, that's about it. So anyway, hope you guys have an awesome day. And then, like I said, with the SEO, if you need help with that kind of stuff, we do offer it. It is 12-month commitment, just because that's what's really needed to see the results that you need. And then it's $1,500 a month. So if you're interested, first step is to do an audit. That is $97. And first we need to see what the hell's going on with your SEO and everything else before I can even say we can help you out. Because like, I'm not just going to say, oh, we can do it for you when we can't do it for you. Or you might already have everything. Like you already had another like SEO company before, maybe they were really good and you're still not getting the results that you want. At least I can go in and kind of see what they did. But if I'm like, you know, there's really not much you can do, it might be because your area, which we can look up with keyword research and stuff like that, just to see how many people are physically searching for your stuff. Because that's part of the problem, where if you don't have a lot of people searching for your shit, then you're never going to get the results that you want, right? So anyway, hope you guys have an awesome day and talk to you soon.